Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Global Council of the World United as we quantum leap into the history of evolution of human consciousness. We're with the Third World Parliament on Spirituality, reaching into 6 continents, 7.5 billion population, 1,000 plus spiritual leaders, and 200 nations. And we're coming together for unifying the consciousness of the critical mass, a movement of unity consciousness. And I am Michelle Reinhardt, hosting the session today, and I'm so excited to introduce you to our panel. It's an absolute honour to be here with Dr. Yugandhar. He is our visionary. Welcome. An awakened one with the path of spiritual mastery. Please say hello before we continue, and I welcome these other beautiful ladies. Dr. Yugandhar.
Yeah, wonderful, Michelle. Thank you very much. So
Pleasure.
here,
Absolutely.
yeah.
And Serenity Ravenwolf, welcome, sweetheart. Serenity is an immensely popular, charismatic spiritual catalyst since 30 years, a bestseller and a coach. You're in Perth, is that right, Serenity?
No, that would be
No.
Cynthia. I'm in Brisbane. I'm in the subtropics.
Beautiful.
I always have just one thing to say to anybody, everybody. I love you.
Oh, darling.
You're radiant, you're beautiful, you're magnificent. Thank you for being here. And the world is a much better place with you in it. I love you.
Oh, we love you.
Sweetheart.
And Cynthia Harrison, she's a mystic medicine woman and founder of Rhombus Healing Arts in Perth, Australia. Welcome, Cynthia.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody. It's lovely to be here.
It's beautiful. So I'd love to just take a beautiful deep breath together as we invite into the hearts and souls and minds of all of the people that our message will reach, as we extend a beautiful welcome and heartfelt greeting. It is going to be a beautiful conversation, and we're going to just flow with things. There are a list of questions. However, I invite all of you to jump in and answer as you feel called to, and we'll just allow this conversation to enlighten the hearts and the minds of what we're here for, what we're here to do and achieve together as a global community. And I'd love to get the ball rolling, if you like, with the first question, which is really important to understand. What is consciousness and how is it related to unity?
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's play.
You first, Dr. Yugandhar. You spoke first.
Yes.
Roll the dice.
Totally.
Yeah.
For me,
Yeah.
consciousness is just who we are. It's the very core and the very essence of who we are, and everything that is alive and breathes, and even trees, because they're alive, have a consciousness. Maybe not the exact same version of ours, but it's just that core essence of who we are. Maybe someone else can expand upon that.
Well, maybe because I sort of threw the question out there. Because I figured if we're starting off this, this big bang, which is related to, consciousness, unity, consciousness, our ever expanding causality, then we need to be at least asking that question. And science hasn't fully, come together on what consciousness actually even is yet. Okay, now there's some of us, more spiritual, sort of mystical types that have another understanding. So I thought I'd throw that in just for us to contemplate along the way, because if we're talking about unity consciousness, then it's important to ask that question first and where you stand on that. And for me, because I'm a social scientist, but I also develop technologies and invent things that assist people to see the invisible, to experience and get an understanding of the depth of themselves, which is beyond the physical. Then I thought that, looking at the correlation between consciousness and or unity consciousness and the unified field theory. So going into the science of it and how those come together. So that might be a little bit too much for a short talk, but just planting the seeds of, you know, that it's beyond the waking state. So if we look at, you know, our awakefulness and our sleepiness, and then we go deeper down into that point of what I call the ocean of love and mercy, it's there that I see this consciousness, this unified field. It's the same thing in a way to me. And even if we're not, so we're conscious, we're awake, like, you know, in the medical field, you know, we're not in a coma, we're conscious, we're awake. But even when we're sleeping or in coma, that consciousness is still there underneath. It's not amplified, so to speak. It's like the light that has nothing to reflect off. So if we start sort of, well, for me, that's my starting point, to look at that point of where all else comes from. It's that wholeness or that emptiness that was before the Big Bang, you know, or the Big Banging. So to start there, yeah, I know, but I am talking about, you know, more the health and science side of things. So I just want to share that without going too nerdy, too deep into that.
So, Dr. Yugandhar, do you believe peace on earth is possible?
Do you believe in what?
Do you believe peace on earth is possible?
Yes, it is possible. It is possible when we can awaken the peace within first. Peace within heralds to global peace. Because as Serenity and Cynthia told, consciousness is what we are made up of. We are connected, interconnected, interrelated, interdependent. At a very subtle level, even at a gross level. So a person who finds peace within oneself, that peace is extremely contagious. It spreads in a very mystical way, very mysterious way. Because we have created a matrix, a psycho-spiritual matrix, a man-made matrix. This man-made matrix is governing what we are. So it's a holographic universe. What one thinks in one part of the world affects the entire world's thinking. So if a person finds peace in somewhere in Australia, somewhere in Africa, somewhere in an island in Indonesia, it affects the entire matrix. So if so many people find peace within, naturally the nature of this man-made matrix will be dropped and it will be metamorphosed. It takes a quantum leap and it spreads like wildfire. So it all takes awakening of peace within for a group called as critical mass, that which is just enough to trigger the entire change, to manifest a spiritual renaissance, to manifest a totally different view. Like, you know, when sun sets, suddenly it becomes dark. So within few minutes, everything is dark. When sun rises, everything becomes light suddenly. Within few minutes, like that. If peace is found by a few people, it spreads. Like we have so many experiments, 100th monthly experiment, rat maze experiment, so many experiments the world has already done. And you know, we're asking about consciousness also. Let me take a minute to speak about that from Vedas, from Upanishads. Of all the 108 Upanishads available in the world, the shortest and the most important Upanishad is Manduk Upanishad, which talks about consciousness, the nature of every human being. This consciousness is masked, covered by the mist called as mind. When the consciousness moves to the social reality, to the peripheral side of its own nature, then it becomes denser. So when the consciousness gets converged, centralized, centripetalized, distilled, then peace is found. So just like Cynthia was talking about wakeful consciousness, the sleep consciousness and the dream consciousness. In Upanishad, it said that the consciousness is ekatma pratyaya saram. That means alignment of these three states of consciousness, the wakeful, the sleep, and dream consciousness. If they are aligned, the real peace can be found. Satyam, that is truth. Shivam, that is happiness. Advaitam, no duality there. Achintyam, that cannot be thought, that cannot be intellectually understood. Avyaktam, that cannot be expressed in words. Agrahyam, it cannot be understood in very different way. It has to be discovered. So whatever we speak will be true, but it cannot be total. It has to be experienced. So the peace is something which, like hunger, we can't express hunger in words. How to describe the hunger pangs? Nobody can describe in words. It is ineffable. Similarly, the peace is something which is ineffable, but once discovered, once found, it affects the world. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's all an inside job, right?
It is. And Serenity, can I ask you to speak into why we know this, but we're reaching into the hearts of others that potentially don't. In terms of critical mass, where are we at?
I've heard it from, is it the Institute of Noetic Sciences that do the experiments of peace and meditation, and heart math are connected to that as well.
Yes.
I've heard them state that it only takes 0.5% of 1% of the whole of the 7.6 some billion people on this planet to reach critical mass. So every bright awakened light, each one of us that wake from the sleepwalking in the dream of the 3D matrix, that wakes up, is equivalent to like maybe millions of others. So 0.5% or 1% of humanity is only something like 32 million out of 7.6 billion. That's critical mass for the 100th monkey experiment to take place, where suddenly we're all awaking and the ripples create the ripples, and then people are just doing stuff and they don't even know why they're doing it, because like the monkeys were suddenly just washing potatoes even on other islands. It affects the consciousness, the collective consciousness.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you. That's really, really special. And Cynthia, how would we know when we're aligned in unity consciousness? How would an individual know?
Cynthia?
I can't hear you, Cynthia.
Okay.
Dr. Yugandhar, would you be speaking to that one?
Yeah.
No.
As Serenity was talking about, unity consciousness. Unity happens not in terms of any type of denser frequency. In the social reality, unity is formed when two people work for common business, when money unites people. If two people get married, a man and a woman, their needs, that becomes a basis for unity. When children are born, because of the mutual dependence, the unity is born on a blood relationship. When two students study together in a school, unity is born for combined studies. But at a deeper level, at a higher level, at a perpetual level, a long-standing level, unity has to be born as per one's discovery of truth within, one's discovery of peace within, one's discovery of harmony within. So unity, real unity happens at a peace level, a global peace level. Peace should bind us. Peace should connect us. The harmony, the need for a harmony, a global harmony, should connect all. The individual scattered activity has to be turned into a collective activity for global peace. If it happens, yes, unity consciousness, it can no more be utopia, can no more be utopic idea. It is going to be manifest right in front of our nose. It happens.
It does.
I have something else I'd like to add to that too. How do you know? something I say a lot is that the language of the universe is feeling.
Yes.
So how do you know when you're aligned? You just feel it. You just have this
Feel
knowing.
good.
You know, it's an example for a metaphor of that is you're driving down the highway, country road, singing to yourself, favorite song. You feel at peace with the world. You know, nothing's bothering you. You can do and challenge, you know, achieve anything, do anything. And then suddenly, out of the blue, you hear a siren and you look in the rear view and you see a police car. Out of unity consciousness, out of peace on earth. The universe, you were there and you were just spat out. Now, the trick is, because the moment you start thinking of a fear, because in unity consciousness, fear doesn't exist.
Mm.
There's just this beautiful love. The only great emotion that's high vibration is love, the love of the all that is. So how do you get back there? And I always then return to the basics of putting my hands over my heart and just saying, I love you. I love you, as authentically as I can. And in a moment, back into unity consciousness, say bye-bye to the policeman, telling he's good looking and having a great day, and off I go singing my song again. So it's a feeling. How do you know it's a feeling? You just know. If you're worrying, having fears or worrying about what's going on or writing your to-do list or worrying about if you're going to pick up the shopping or remember you're in 3D, you're out of unity consciousness. You know?
Yeah.
Get out of here and down into here.
Yeah, I often say stop, and drop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
But the good point is, Michelle, is you can get back there.
Yes, but does the policeman
that's
write the ticket or does it just disappear?
Does it really matter in unity consciousness? Thank him for the ticket anyway, and know that you have the means to pay for it.
That's it. That's it. Cynthia, do we have you?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes.
I can. Yes, yes, we can.
My phones aren't working, so I've just took them out. But so I would say I would agree with everything said to a point. I would call it, you know, in the work that I do, I call it the central core, or going into the center of the self. And the heart, mind, or will, love, wisdom, peace is there too. But talking about that central core, or that, you know, that connection between heaven and earth, or, you know, what I call the earth star and the soul star type thing. And it is part of our energy, or part of our non-physical, but it is us. And so bringing yourself back to that point, and there's lots of tools to do that, and we won't go into it today, but there are lots of really quick, easy, simple, what I call energy first aid, to bring yourself back to that in a moment. And the thing is that once you're bringing yourself back, that manifest, unmanifest, manifest, unmanifest, you know, meditation, back into the real world, you know, from the projector of the movie out to the screen. Because most people, well, a lot of people, I won't say most people, a lot of people are trying to change their experience by moving the screen. It's like the world is a touch screen. Well, it's not. I'll tell you that, kids, you know. But to create change within the world, within the field, it's from the projector. And where is the projector? It's within us, and our beliefs and conditioning patterns are what are projected from us through our systems, energy systems, and create. So we don't actually create our world. This might be controversial. We are our world. There's a subtle difference. So, you know, we often say, yeah, we are the creators of our world. Yes, on a level, because there's another level that, you know, we are. And that's why I talk about are-ing. We're humaning. A tree is treeing, a dog is dogging, a chair is chairing, you know, Cynthia is Cynthiaing. We are-ing. It's the frequencies, vibrations from that ocean, the ocean of eternity, that point that we're going down into, and projecting that out. So the more that we can go back and forth, the more that we can really hold that state. Because once we're there, you know, and we can call it peace or bliss or whatever you want to language it, we are that. So I'll leave it at that because I know you've got other questions.
I do, but I'm going to dig in a little deeper into that because it's one of your questions as well. So how do we reach this unified field and hold it?
So does somebody else want to answer that first? Or?
Dr. Yugandhar?
Yeah. How can we hold? We are all vibrating. Yeah.
How do we reach it?
Yeah.
And then how do we hold it? Two parts.
Yeah. So people by nature, as we have discussed from the words of Serenity, Cynthia, we're all same, deep core. The nature of any human being is same. Human beings are called as Homo sapiens. Sapient being is one who thinks. And rest of the world, the animals, the trees, the arboreals, the aquatics, the terrestrials, they're called as sentient beings. They know without thinking. They know without thinking. By just experiencing, they know everything. There is a difference between sapient and a sentient. So when human beings turn into sentient beings, without thinking, when a person tries to know things experientially, when the mind drops, the consciousness takes over, we become sentient beings. So, as we have been discussing, we need several such sentient beings. And the World Parliament on Spirituality is one attempt to bring all the sentient beings to make a collective sentient activity, to increase, enhance, accentuate, augment the sentience everywhere, to make everyone a sentient being. So that's how I think it is possible. Yeah.
And how you keep that and staying in that vibration for me is you just keep that vibration, that high vibration, that expansiveness, that sentientness, and then you just stay there. And when you can hold that for longer and longer periods of time, because practice makes the master, then you're constantly in unity consciousness. Or as unity consciousness, you become unity consciousness. Back to something Cynthia said, you are it.
We are.
Yeah,
I am.
I love, Cynthia, I love your analogy of the projector. We are projecting, and we absolutely are. And that's the beauty of it. Once we actually take responsibility for all of that, we're not only projecting into the lives of others, but into the lives of so many. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Can I add to that? It might be a question, but can I just add something that I live by metaphor and purely because most of the ancient texts are written in metaphor. So to understand metaphor, then you can understand the ancient ones, right? And start to live that. You know, we're talking about vibration and how we stay in it and what it is and how we are. Okay. I generally am looking at frequency and the strings of resonance. And so, you know, we could say we've got 72,000 nadis, yeah, that are vibrating through the world. And if we walk through the world without, you know, being conscious of that, now I can just use this.
Yes, you can. Yeah, we understand.
That we are being strummed like a harp by the environment. Okay.
Yeah.
If we become a conductor, we play our own symphony. We are the music. Yeah. And so I live by that. I need metaphor to be able to make it really simple so that I know, is the another metaphor like the tornado. Your life is the tornado and things are flinging past you, you know, all this, you know, stuff, experiences. But we can sit in the center and be in that neutral mind, that neutral space, right? And be the observer, the witnesser. And that's how, you know, with practice, you know, coming in and out of that, you know, you could stick your head out. I use the metaphor when I'm teaching, you stick your head out to sea, you know, and then you get hit in the head with a cow or a house, you know, like some of you might have seen the movie Tornado, right? So and that's life, isn't it? Isn't that like you're sitting in your center, being the observer, the watcher, the witnesser? Different traditions call it different things. But that's how I sort of see that if I can stay in that center, that central core, that place of stillness and be moving, right? Then I'm in that neutral space and I'm watching and observing and still feeling deeply, right? But I'm able to hold that more and more so that I'm not being pulled into the dramas of the cyclone or the storm or the however you want to pull that. So again, it's practice, coming in, coming out, sticking your head out and going, oh, am I getting pulled into that drama? And then coming back and going, okay, reflect on that. It's okay if you get pulled in, but reflect on it and go, okay, well, next time, you know, maybe I could go this way or that way, or how can I, you know, use a breath or bring myself back to, you know, that center. So
and maybe next time you put your head out, you'll get hit in the head only with a cotton ball instead of a cow or a kite.
It's so true though, Serenity.
Absolutely.
Like if your subconscious is the physical, and when you can learn to listen deeply, listen with the ear of the heart to that consciousness, you no longer have the consciousness within the body. It becomes higher so that you are hearing it. Say your symptom, you're hearing the symptom or seeing or feeling or sensing or knowing the symptom before it hits your physical. So you don't have to have the hit in the head. Exactly what you said, Serenity. Right? And so in health and wellness, you know, isn't that what we're aiming for? Like that we can catch whatever's going on to disturb the vibration of our symphony, okay, before it hits our physical and becomes a symptom that then we have to try and cure, right? So
for me, a big part of being the maestro, the orchestrator of our lives is to, you know, the one strumming the strings, is to give up our addiction, make the choice to give up our addiction to trauma and drama. Because the trauma and drama is the hurricane and the cyclone outside. It is the cow, it is the car that's hitting you in the head every time you put your head out. And trust me, it doesn't have to be that way. I've given up completely and utterly any addiction to trauma and drama. Peace on earth for me, all the way.
Absolutely. Dr. Yugandhar, would you share with us, please, how you came to bring us together in unity consciousness?
So, unity is something very difficult to bring in from others. It has to be sustained with sustained thought of unconditional love. It's sustained, as Serenity was saying, your feeling is governing the universe at a heart level, not at an intellectual level, not at a conceptual level, at a feeling. Feeling is the expression of the soul. Feeling is what people can understand. A child can understand feeling more than a thought, because the nature is expression for any child. So the emotions and feelings of any human being are all same, whether you live in Australia or Africa or India or Indonesia. The feelings are all same. Human beings are all same. The same mind trauma and drama, what Serenity is saying, is all same. All the dramas are all same everywhere. The mental dramas are same. But however, a few bunch of people who have found peace, who have discovered peace, when they come together, a new explosion, a new world, a new frequency, a metamorphosis, a mutation will definitely happen at a massive level. It will definitely happen, but it has to be sustained by all unconditionally. Unconditionality is the weapon. It is a weapon. You know, we are not trying to bring uniformity. The kings and emperors in the olden days, in the ancient and medieval days, tried to bring uniformity in the name of unity. They want to put everything in order at a social level, but that is not correct. The spiritually wise will not create uniformity. Like we have seen several spiritual organizations, everything, they talk about the same thing, the same meditation technique is superior, the same system is superior, remaining all not superior or less superior, whatever you call it, but everything is superior. Every human being is superior. Every child is superior. So when we respect the superiority in every human being and we sustain it, yes, it definitely happens. Everything depends upon the sustenance and unconditionality. These are the two major weapons we need in the present times. This is what I feel.
And if you don't mind, I'd like to add to that. It's like we're not waiting for a Messiah to come and save us. We are all, each and every individual one of us, are the one we've been waiting for. We are the second coming of the Messiah. And all it takes is for us to make the choice to be the one. Because there is only one. Just my 2 cents worth.
Yes, Cynthia?
Part of that to answer. Could you state the actual question again?
We were speaking into Dr. Yugandhar's inspiration to bring unity consciousness forth.
I just had something to add to the end of that. Sorry. Well, no, I'm not. I just expanded.
You just threw a cow in the air.
I am a cow. What can I say? Moo.
But then I sort of lost the string. So, yeah, bringing us together. You know, as Serenity mentioned earlier about the 100 monkeys, or how we bring the resonance or the frequency. You know, we know that in groups. So when we run groups, we are exponentially expediting the work together. And, you know, the people that work with me, they know when we work individually, you know, magic happens. However, when we're in group and we're working together in group, the immense, it's power filled, and they see themselves shifting beyond what they can do individually. So looking at, you know, all of us coming together across the globe, you know, with that seed planted of unity consciousness, however we might come at it, there's many perspectives, right? It's like, you know, the string within, you know, there's eight different ways that string, that rubber band within, you know, string theory can vibrate. So we've got all of these different ways of vibrating, but we're all coming from that point. Okay, so while doing that, we're planting other seeds, and within the seed is the wholeness, the emptiness that has the memory of all there is. So to allow that to grow, which I feel like we're just part of that seed that started to sprout. You know, the seed was planted years ago. I mean, this is the third World Parliament, yeah? So the seed was planted many years ago, and we are now another sproutling, if that's a word.
It works.
Inventing words is a must.
Yeah. So that's how I see it, in that we have the blueprint from those past gatherings, you know, in love and unity and oneness, to continue that, you know, the big banging. It's really the same thing. We're continually, you know, in causality. There is no end, so to speak. So we're all bringing our frequency, our vibration, our resonance into that garden, let's call it, and those seeds are being watered and tended to, but the water needs to get to under the ground, to the roots, or to the seed for that sprouting. So if we're looking at how we can impact others, it can't be this superficial sort of what's at the top, because again, with my metaphors, what's underneath, in the ground, in the earth, or the ocean, what's in the ocean, underneath the ocean. If we're all living in the waves, or, you know, in the leaves, then we're missing some, well, I'm going to say it just it's my way. You can, there's many perspectives, but we're missing the point. We're watering the leaves, not the root. And so I feel like this is a chance to share, all of us to share across the world, across the globe, many different languages, cultures, understandings, different ways to get to the root, the seed.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for me, it's
I'm passionate about it, so I'll just go on and on and on.
it's utilizing the concept of the mastermind, and it said, where you and at least one other are, I am also.
Yeah.
And the power that's created from more than one gathering together on a unified topic or unified anything, the sum of the total of what's created, the collective consciousness of that, is always exponentially greater than the sum of the people coming together and gathering together to create it. So can you imagine if that's just even with two people? We're talking about millions and billions of people.
Yeah.
And for that, going back to Dr. Yugandhar, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for being the initial Om seed to
Thank you very
bring
much.
this mastermind of unity consciousness together. Just thank you.
Thank you. And to add to that, if I may, the importance and that everyone brings their slice of uniqueness forth, because we are all just pieces fitting into this magnificent puzzle, and we need everyone, every piece, so that we all connect so beautifully.
Wouldn't be the same without you.
No, exactly right. Cynthia, how do we all participate in unity consciousness?
Do we all participate?
Or serenity, whoever feels like they, or Dr. Yugandhar.
We all seem to have something to say about every
We
question.
do,
So it's all good.
I sense we're not going to have nearly enough time for this conversation.
We are all participating already, and I think what you just said around coming in from our different perspectives or different pieces, but I talk about perspective. We've got perception and perspective, and depending on how awake we might be, where we're viewing the world from, let's put it that way, keep it simple. It's about not judging others for maybe not being able to see how you see, because when you've reached that point of stillness, you then can see without the eyes and hear without the ears. All your sensory system is changed. So compassion to me, which is part of this conversation, I believe, is about not judging others for not being at that point, but understanding that we can invite them, and we can do things like this, and those that decide that they would like to experience something maybe that they haven't before, then here we are, we're here. And there will be thousands of people that will be showing up and sharing that maybe they resonate to, and might reach out and just look a little bit deeper, and if it's not for them, so be it. But ultimately, how we all experience it, we're all conscious. It's just dependent on whether you're aware and you're at the observer state where you are observing yourself, the self observing the self. So
the path of self-actualization path, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm not about forcing or pressuring people to do anything, or judging them for not being how you or I or we might want them to be. Everybody is where they need to be for this moment in time. So how do we bring them in? I mean, we just share, we just keep showing up. That's what I do. I just keep showing up and sharing and inviting. So
Yes.
Michelle, what was the question again? Sorry.
I have no idea.
how you can
Joking.
participate.
I'm joking.
How we can participate in the unity consciousness.
Yeah, so I knew I had an answer and I totally forgot the question. I got so involved.
I
me,
did
hey-
know. I just wanted
and
to
to-
lift it.
I know, and to me, the path of unity consciousness is returning back to love. Return to love, not love like the icky thing human suits do and have, but that divinely loving love of the creator of the all that is, of God, the universe, flying purple monkeys. I don't care what you call it. It's the same thing, that greater power. And stop being your own world's worst abuser. We are all our own world's worst abuser. And instead, by loving your own heart and getting out of here more often and down to here, practice makes the master, we become our own divinely loving presence and guide.
Yes.
And to me, that's the path and the next steps for each of us. And that just starts simply by putting your hands on your heart and saying, I love you, as authentically as you can. And yes, it feels weird at first, really weird. But in a moment, it's not in the inner unfamiliar folder, it's in the inner familiar folder. And that's how I got myself to, I can look at anybody and just say, I love you. And I mean it because I love my heart. And that's how I started that.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, the commonness has to transform into togetherness.
And it's back to the inside job, right? Got to start with you loving your own heart.
Yeah.
And then from your overflowing cup, from the overflowing saucer that the cup is on, we're closer and closer and closer to unity consciousness and sustaining that peace on earth.
We are.
And
No,
Yeah.
you're not allowed to add anymore. Just
I talk a lot and I don't want to take over the whole. But I do feel like this is an important point because, my background is trauma and working with the most depressed people on the planet. Yeah. And so hearing that, some people might go, yeah, right, they can't even like themselves. So Serenity, yes, you're correct. Yeah. But on
go
the
back and say, I like you. Serenity, you have beautiful eyes.
Exactly.
Find something you can say. If I love you is too big a stretch right now.
That's right. So being compassionate and just kindness to the self and building that, and that's how I found, even with traumatized children, their parents aren't even able to love them and care for them. Yeah. So how would somebody who's never felt that, real love, true love, be able to even like themselves? So, if you're sitting there thinking, oh yeah, it's all sort of, love and joy and bliss, because sometimes, I know
It's
that
not.
No, and I did mention it feels really weird at first sometimes. And that just is a sign that it's in your inner unfamiliar folder. With practice and with each I love you as authentically as you can. And if you don't like I love you, say I like you.
Exactly.
You are nice.
Kind to
And in a
self.
moment with practice, it like bit by bit with a file coming over from the back to metaphors and the computer, in a moment, that entire 50 gigabyte file is in this other folder, which is your inner familiar folder. And that's when you can start authentically looking at anybody and saying, I love you and mean it.
Yeah. So just really that practice and coming in and out of it. And maybe it is about faking it till you make it. But
And if you can only say it 3 times today, say it just 3 times. It'll feel a little less weird tomorrow.
Yeah, I love the face it until you make it.
Yeah.
It's not even faking it. It's just
No, faith. F-A-I-T-H, faith it.
I agree with that.
Until you make it. Yes. Yeah, no.
Faithing it. I like that one.
Yeah, it's very cool. So, Dr. Yugandhar, always going to come back to you for the tough ones, but this is not tough at all. How will unity consciousness assist individuals and humanity?
Existing
Individuals and humanity. Where are we going as humanity with unity consciousness?
Yeah. As I told, unity is most important than uniformity.
Yes.
The world has been trying to bring uniformity because of power-mongering souls, be it politicians, be it governmental heads. We are So the world,
Never.
so they are bringing a lot of divisive consciousness. This divisive consciousness has made us live and feel that I belong to certain nation, certain religion, certain creed, certain color, certain language, certain culture. So the divisive consciousness is in many formats. Unity consciousness is only one format. So unity among diversity. The beauty of the world is to be oneself, but to respect and love everything else. So as I told, the commonness, the common nature of oneself is consciousness. We have consciousness is the wrong word. We are consciousness, basically. So when we are consciousness, why don't we connect with the consciousness within everyone? So the people who have understood or discovered this experientially need to come forward collectively. They need to come forward. Yeah.
Two hands. Because I got you.
Yeah. And when they come forward, they do something together. It becomes a family of people who want to be united first. It starts with few people only. It becomes in a humble way.
And to me, that goes back exactly to your vision, Dr. Yugandhar, of
Yes.
the world.
This togetherness turns into oneness slowly. The commonness turns into togetherness. The togetherness turns into oneness.
Yes.
One step at a time, one I
Once
love you at a time,
togetherness
one I
leads-
like you at a time.
Till 99th degree, the water is water. Suddenly, the last degree changes everything. So I think we are at the last degree, somewhere between 99 to 100. The
Ooh,
present
I
time.
got goosebumps confirmation.
I had
Yes,
to.
I agree.
Everything is going to change.
Oh, all the way up to here.
Wow, what a beautiful, beautiful moment of time shared together. I would love to deeply and gratefully thank you, Dr. Yugandhar, Cynthia, and Serenity.
Yeah.
And I'd love to extend our love and gratitude to all of the people that are watching our live stream right now. And
Yeah, I think, Michelle, you can welcome people for Australia event, World Parliament.
yes, yes.
Announce the dates.
I will. I would love to just very quickly summarize, if I may, with the whole overarching theme of this unity consciousness. We are love. We are loved, and that is all. That is all. And if anyone can't find that love within themselves, find one of us, because we will love you hard until you can love yourself. I would love to let you all know that the event starts in Australia on the 5th of October and it culminates in Asia on the 23rd of December. We are on a quantum roll. We're on this. We've got it. We're also on the 21st of December, we're inviting 100 million people to meditate. The time in Australia for that is between 5. Oh, it's actually Sydney, 11:30 p.m. Please go to www.theworldunited.com.
.org.
.org. There we go.
Yeah.
Thank you. Remembering, of course, we're here to quantum leap in the history of evolution and human consciousness. And we are so very, very thrilled to be inviting you all on this gorgeous journey with us. Dr. Yugandhar, your vision, your heart is palpable, and we thank you from the bottom of ours into yours.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. Blessings and huge love, and may your world be filled with light and love every second of every day in every way.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.